I swear the music industry is never going to be the same after the Diddy investigation. So in case you guys haven't heard,
you know, most kids would be excited about it. I'm around grown women, and I'm seeing them do things, and
the rumors keep mounting about rapper Diddy's parties.
The allegations are absolutely horrific.
The parties had a reputation for being filled with drugs, orgies, and suspicious behavior around children.
Breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. You still have beautiful parents, but you're my child also. Come on.
Now, how the did the Me Too movement miss this?
Man. Where we hanging out and what we doing?
Nearly 2 months after his homes were raided, the federal investigation into Sean Diddy Combs appears to be intensifying. Investigators are reportedly getting ready to bring some of his assault accusers before a federal grand jury.
Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, hey, hey.
The streets are talking, and it looks like Usher is gearing up to expose Diddy in court. If these rumors turn out to be true, this could completely shake up the case against Diddy. Sources say that ever since whispers of Usher's involvement in the trial began circulating, Diddy has been spiraling behind the scenes. Allegedly, he's scrambling to do damage control because he knows that if Usher spills the truth about what he endured at Diddy's infamous Puffy Flavor camps, there's no coming back from it. Diddy and Usher go way back. Back when Usher was just a young, impressionable boy in the industry, Diddy took him under his wing. But now, as more details emerge about what really happened at Diddy's house, it seems like Usher is finally ready to break his silence. In a move that has fans buzzing, Usher just deleted every single one of his tweets, 7,000 posts gone overnight. For some, this looks like a sign of fear. Could he be trying to erase past statements before things get messy?
Of his post on X with nearly 12 million followers amid what's going on with Diddy. If you go to his page, like I said, it adds up. He has comments that he hasn't deleted, but every single post on his main feed is gone. So very sketchy, and obviously in this picture you see they're highly affiliated within the music industry, which they, you know, both were at the top of for at least a decade, probably the early 2000s. But anyway, it's probably not the best idea for him to do this because little did he know X is open source. There's actually a way that you can track deleted tweets. So this does not look very good for him.
Pat, Usher deleted his Twitter account, deleted it, right? Or took everything down. He deleted a bunch of, I think 7,000 tweets, and then came back a day later and he put
me again.
He wrote account got hacked, and damn, y'all ran with it. It's not a secret. I'm tired of everybody playing this game. Okay,
well, actually read the comments on what people said. Let's see what people said, like if they bought it or not.
Okay, yeah.
The old
Diddy hacked your butt.
The account got attacked and hacked.
That's the first one. Oh, that's security. Keep going, Robbie. So crazy how we got hacked, but instead of posting crazy stuff, the hacker just deleted your post and Diddy got arrested, and all the stuff with Justin Bieber. So weird, we all ran with it, right, bro? Nobody's buying that, dude. So, Pat, the majority of these, Pink said the same thing.
That's the best one.
Yeah, but guys, Pink and somebody else, they deleted their stuff a little while back. But Usher, in his own words on the Howard Stern show, like when I tell you guys, these demons hide in plain sight, like Diddy, he said on Howard Stern, Puffy would have his parents send him to Flavor Camp at 13 years old. Your parents are sending you to a camp with a grown man, Pat. I know, I'm around you all the time. I know you're your kids, and I know you trust me, and I love you. Would you ever send your 13, would you send Tico?
Stop it.
Are you freaking nuts? I don't care how famous he is. And in this interview, Rob, you don't have to play, he says, Howard Stern's like, oh, I bet you there was girls and orgies. And he's talking to him as he's 13, and he said, there was very curious things happen. And then you got a video of Usher and Diddy in his bedroom with Kevin Hart, and he's interviewing him. And he said, I would wake up in the morning with Usher in the morning, and then he catches himself, and it's a moment where they're all laughing and it's all a joke. And I think, in my opinion, Pat, one of the ones that affects me the most is Justin Bieber. This kid, to me, it looks like he has gone through hell.
By the way, do you have the Kevin Hart one?
Yeah, I sent it to you, Robbie.
Yeah, I'm finding it right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Which is odd, Pat, because he gets caught saying that he would wake up next to him and then he changes it and says we would fight off over the Frosted Flakes. Even Kevin Hart is uncomfortable because you're admitting that you were sleeping next to a freaking child. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing all these stories and people just laugh about it. We giggle. Like, this is it right here, Pat. Go ahead, Robbie.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, I mean, damn, pause.
Look,
like,
pause.
I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was
10 years
a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted
Wake
Flakes.
up till Usher.
He used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest songs in the world. And
What the did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was stupid. Listen.
And think about it. And back to Justin Bieber.
Right,
there's videos, and we don't have to show any more videos. There's videos of Justin Bieber as a child with him, as a child. And again, the parents letting him sleep over. Just uncomfortable, awkward moments. You played the song, Pat, this weekend, "Lonely" by Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Guys, that song, after everything that this kid's been through, hits so different. It got me emotional in the car. And then look at all the videos. And again, hiding in plain sight. How many videos of Jenny McCarthy at the American Music Awards kissing and making him, he's like, I feel violated. The kid was telling us. James Corden sitting there sniffing him like, I love your smell. It's like, we all see it. We all seeing it happening. And I know we're not going to show the video, Pat, but there's a video out there for the viewers that want to watch it. There's a nightclub. Somebody has a camera. Trey Songz is standing next to Odell Beckham. And he sees the camera come and he goes, yo, to signal to Odell, and you see Justin Bieber coming up. His head was down in Odell Beckham's crotch, and it's like, I can only imagine, Pat, how difficult it must be for these kids, for an Usher or Bieber to come forward. But I think the best thing that could happen, and I get it, I don't understand because I've never been there. A guy like Usher and a guy like Bieber should tell prosecutors or something what these people did, because if they don't come and tell them, Pat, there's another P. Diddy walking around. There's another person that's going to keep violating these young kids, and nothing's going to get done unless people start talking about it.
But let's not forget, Usher has already spoken out about Diddy before in old interviews. He's hinted at the things he saw and experienced under Diddy's mentorship. He admitted that those flavor camps weren't what they seemed. And if he's about to take the stand or go public with more details...
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Concerning.
I have kids. I don't even post. And then, the Twitter trolls will be, we're her kids. Well, I'm protecting them. And this is sad. I mean, this is sad. And this one with Bieber.
This is the Bieber one? Yeah.
Where are the parents?
Yeah, and which parent would say, you know what? We don't know you. We know that you're a celebrity. Go and hang out with this guy for weeks on end by yourself. And at what time, at what era is this cool?
In the most critical years, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. How is this, Alina?
They
have you
both
seen this clip?
turn.
How is this normal?
They both turn into superstars.
Yeah,
that's the sacrifice you make.
Yeah, that's the sacrifice. But one of them had to go to church and he freaking lost his mind. Can you play this one? How's this?
You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing.
we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
What the?
You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
Jesus.
And we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
What?
That's disturbing, by the way.
Why?
That's disturbing.
What does that have to do with making music?
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Who is this guy, Rob? Who is the girl?
I believe this is a former dancer of Diddy's who talks. She doesn't give specifics, but she talks about some of the things that she witnessed while she was there.
Play the clip.
Oh yeah, you know, we all have stories. Seriously, we all have stories. Mine is horrific, and only 5 people know it.
Well, you're about to be called
and
as a
I
witness.
probably will never tell it.
No, you're about to get subpoenaed.
Since then, I've been
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and I
she's
also
done.
am very intimately aware that you tell your truth and you become victimized over and over and over and over and over and over. And mind you, I then interviewed him many times. I have a lot of stories, y'all. I've been in Hollywood for 25 years, maybe longer, 30. I got a lot of stories. Unfortunately, maybe I'll write a book one day. Oh. But it just is so traumatizing that women just want to live every day and feel safe. And when we revisit, we live in a state of victimhood. And nobody wants to live there. So for those who are like, why didn't you say something then? Because we just want to live. We want to be happy. And we really want to forget the trauma. So there's that.
Well, Diddy made a statement recently.
Diddy's lawyer made a statement.
Well, this is something that Diddy wrote right prior to everything that's going on.
Called it a witch hunt.
Yeah, he called it a witch hunt.
Yeah.
Vinny, you want to read this?
For the last couple of weeks, and Rob, I just sent you something too, if you could please show that. For the last couple of weeks, I've sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me, my individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Sean Diddy Combs. Now,
but here's where things get even darker. Usher and Justin Bieber weren't the only kids caught up in Diddy's parties. A shocking new report states that out of the 120 allegations against Diddy, at least 25 of them allegedly involve children.
Sean Diddy Combs is accused of abusing more than 24 minors amid new allegations against him. After the rapper was arrested September 16th for charges of trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in 120 people have come forward to accuse the 54-year-old of assault, including more than 24 who were allegedly minors at the time. In an October 1st press conference per NBC News, Tony Busby, an attorney representing the new group of accusers, said 25 of the accusers were minors at the time of the alleged incidents, with some occurring as early as 1991. The attorney further alleged that one of the accusers was just 9 years old at the time that they were assaulted by Combs. The numerous allegations Busby noted included violent assault or facilitated with a controlled substance, dissemination of video recordings, and abuse of minors. Busby, who said 3,000 people have come forward with accusations against Combs, did not specify the extent of the alleged abuse against the minors included in the planned lawsuit. The attorney added that he plans to continue to file lawsuits in various states within the next 30 days. Busby said of the accusers who have come forward, 62% identify as African American and mostly hail from New York, California, Georgia, and Florida. He added, it's a long list already, but because of the nature of this case, we are going to make sure, damn sure, that we are right before we do that. The attorney explained that he will later name additional defendants in the cases, some of whom will, quote, shock the public. Busby said during the press conference, we will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates. As Combs remains in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, his lawyer emphasizes that the rapper continues to maintain his innocence. Erica Wolf, an attorney for Combs, tells E! News in a statement he cannot address every meritless allegation in what has become a reckless media circus. That said, Mr. Combs emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that he abused anyone, including minors. He looks forward to proving his innocence and vindicating himself in court if and when claims are filed and served, where the truth will be established based on evidence, not speculation.
Before his arrest, disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was famous for holding his annual 4th of July party in the Hamptons. All of the well-known partygoers wore white, and it wasn't exactly a family-friendly event. Now imagine you're a 6-year-old kid and you find yourself a guest there. Allison Hall has more.
Can you believe this 6-year-old boy was once a guest at Diddy's infamous white party? The disgraced mogul has his arm around a young Justin Livtoski back in 1999. Justin is now 31 and tells Inside Edition about taking that photo.
He put his arm around me in an uncomfortable way, close to areas that you shouldn't as a grown man.
He recalls what he saw at the party.
So I remember marijuana and topless women. That's the two main things that I remember.
So, how'd he end up there? Well, his father, David Allen, was Diddy's photographer, snapping pictures of partygoers in the Hamptons. Justin's mom, Maya, was also there. She says the party was family-friendly at first, but then turned raunchy.
People were getting high. There were girls swimming topless, young-looking girls that were, not dressed. We moved to another part of the house so that he wouldn't be exposed to what was going on.
In later years, Diddy implemented a curfew for children.
The kids have like an hour left, so get extra comfortable. This thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to.
I think he's a monster.
This week, Houston-based lawyer Tony Busby says more than 120 people are coming forward with claims Diddy abused them.
Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15.
Did Diddy assault you in any way?
When you say assault, I don't know the exact definition, but he put his arm around me in an uncomfortable way.
Diddy is now behind bars, facing federal charges of trafficking and racketeering. He denies all claims of abuse, including against.
4 years, people looked the other way when it came to Diddy's wild parties. But now, with these new allegations and Usher reportedly stepping forward, the truth is becoming impossible to ignore. And it's not just Usher. Journalist Tay is now speaking out about what he witnessed too. According to Tay, Diddy's house was always stocked with drugs. It wasn't just about access. It was about control. Diddy reportedly punished people who refused to take part in the things he wanted them to do. The people around him were expected to comply, no matter how disturbing or illegal his requests were.
Personally disturbed many years ago, okay? I know this man well enough to call him and say, hey, I need a favor.
Yeah.
And this might have been 10, 12 years ago that I called him and say, hey, I have a family member who I want you to hire them as an intern.
Yeah.
And I have never talked about this publicly. And he said yes. And they were flying around, one of the interns, Atlanta, Miami, whatever, on the jet, in the house, whatever. And then the internship stopped abruptly, like 3 or 4 months into it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my family member, like, well, what happened? And they wouldn't say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did it end? He wouldn't say. And years later, they finally came out, and this a male, and said that Puff had said, come home, stay the night with me, or the internship is over. And they said, absolutely not. He said, absolutely not. And the internship ended. But from there, I was like, oh, like this is how it goes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So to hear that things went even further with potentially, allegedly, many other people.
Yeah.
And thus incapacitating them through giving them drugs. And I'm talking about dosing them. Here, take a shot. They don't know what's in it. Have a joint. They don't know what's in it. It's just really horrific stuff. When people try to compare him to Hugh Hefner, who Hugh Hefner had willing participants, a lot of the women who were his girlfriends were paid. We're talking about Diddy drugging people and having them have multi-day situations on drugs. This is not, they're not able to consent. So there's just horrific stuff going on here.
Now, you had a family member that got close to that circle that gave you a specific window into the kinds of behavior. What did you learn?
Yeah, I mean, like I was able to get a family member of mine into his internship, into Diddy's internship program, the Bad Boy internship program, because I knew him well enough to call him and say, hey, can you do a favor for my family, right? We were not friends, but we had a professional relationship going over many years. I'd interviewed him many times. I could pick up the phone and call him. And the internship went well for 3 months. Everybody was very excited about it. And then it ended suddenly. And years later, I found out that that was because Diddy had said, either come home with me tonight or the internship is over. And, you know, I didn't find that out till years later, but I mean, this is horrific. How do you treat people like that, especially family of media who could easily get on media and talk about this? And at the time, I didn't think that anyone would have believed me, but now that you know him doing much worse things, the story sounds totally believable.
Teray has a Substack and he's on TikTok putting out his perspective, which is, you know, almost without compare. I mean, the man has been doing this. He looks like he's, 22, but he's been doing this for a long time. He's got a lot of context and a lot of perspective.
What's one misconception about you?
There are no misconceptions about me.
You're gonna hear about my party. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. Everything ain't for everybody.
There's a lot of talk going on with you arranging Chris and Rihanna getting back together. You want to talk about that?
If I could be there as a friend during hard times, then I'm gonna be there as a friend.
So who was with you this weekend? A bunch of my friends. Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber. Oh, this party? I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it.
A lot of multiple nominees, multiple Grammy nominees this year. Lauryn Hill's got 4, TLC's got 8, and Sean Combs 5 to 10. I don't need to be mean because, I mean, he's a nice guy and he can really sing. Oops!
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jesse Weber. We have the special coverage of a live Diddy hearing in downtown New York in the federal courthouse. It wrapped up a little bit earlier on, but that's okay. In case you missed it, we have with us Law and Crime's very own Elizabeth Milner, who was in that courtroom. And Elizabeth, it's so good to see you. I have so many questions for you. I want to take one at a time. First of all, how did Sean Diddy Combs appear? And was there anybody there in attendance for him?
Well, honestly, Jesse, I feel like Diddy's appearance was probably the biggest story that happened inside that hearing. There was kind of an astonishing whoa when he walked inside that courtroom because he appeared noticeably grayer. I would even kind of equate it a little bit to Santa Claus, but he just appeared grayer. His hair was a lot whiter. Now, remember, the last time I was inside one of Diddy's hearings, that was back in December. We're in March, so that's just a 3-month time span of just that intense grayness. So either him being at MDC Brooklyn for this amount of time is weighing on him, this federal case is weighing on him, maybe even his fall from grace entirely is probably weighing on him, but he just looked visibly different. I will say, though, last time he appeared thinner. This time it seems like he did kind of pack on a little bit of pounds, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way at all, but he did seem to kind of put his weight back up from the last time that I saw him. But it really was just kind of a stark difference. Now, he was graying a little bit in the last hearing, that is no doubt, so it wasn't too big of a jump. But again, a lot of us who were sitting in the gallery, a lot of the reporters were just kind of like, whoa, because of just how astonishingly grayer he appeared during that time. Now, as far as who was inside that courtroom, it was, as far as his family goes, a lot smaller of a group than we've seen before. We've seen times where all of his kids, maybe with the exception of his now 2-year-old daughter, being inside that courtroom, putting up a united front. But again, this was kind of a smaller group this time. It was only Diddy's daughter, Jessie Combs, and it was Diddy's son, Christian Combs, also known as King, as well as Diddy's mother, Janice Combs. So, of course, when Diddy comes into the courtroom, that's the first thing he's looking out for, is that he's going to be looking out for his family. He's going to be waving to them, you know, kind of mouthing, I love you, and all of that sort. And that's what happened as well as when he was leaving, too. I even saw him kind of mouth, hi, mommy, to his own mother. But, you know, his son, Quincy, wasn't there. His son, Justin, wasn't there. The twins weren't there. And, of course, his youngest daughter, just 2 years old probably at this time, time Love wasn't there. So really it was just a smaller group of supporters this time. And it might have just been scheduling. It might have just been the fact that this wasn't going to be a big hearing necessarily, but also we didn't know what we could really expect from it. But, you know, it was just kind of different as far as what we've seen before, where they take up an entire row in the gallery, to just being in a small little corner there. But it appeared that Diddy was just happy to see him, happy to see his family, happy to have support in there in the courtroom. And as far as even just at the defense table too, another noticeable difference that I thought to myself was just the fact that Anthony Rico was no longer there. Again, he filed a letter kind of saying that he can't be on the case anymore, and that was just a few weeks ago. And so that to me was kind of a stark difference from last hearing to this hearing.
The defense attorneys basically said there's no way I can continue. Not entirely sure what that even meant. By the way, it was interesting when you mentioned his appearance. It could be the stress. It could also be, and I have no way to confirm this, he doesn't have access to the same kind of beauty regimen as he might have had on the outside, and whether that meant dyeing his hair or whatnot. I mean, he's not the youngest guy, so it's something I thought about.